Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to decode a truly fascinating origin story. We're looking at exactly how two engineers managed to build the invisible engine that powers global creativity, and how they transformed what was really just a two-man startup into an absolute industry standard. So if you've ever wondered how the digital world got so incredibly visual and dynamic, well, you're definitely in the right place.
All right, let's just dive right into this. I want you to think about everyday creations for a second. What connects a massive Hollywood blockbuster film, a super sleek global marketing campaign, and, say, a student's late-night digital presentation? On the surface, these seem completely unrelated, right? Different industries, totally different budgets, different goals, but there is a hidden thread tying them all together.
And that thread? It's one company, Adobe. Literally, behind almost every visual you consume today stands this single entity. But the thing is, Adobe didn't begin as this massive, inevitable software giant that we know today. It actually began with just two guys and a very simple, yet totally radical belief that computers could fundamentally transform creativity forever.
Section 1. The Xerox PARC Defectors.
Okay, so meet John Warnock and Charles Geschke. Back in 1981, these two brilliant engineers had these highly secure, really respected jobs at Xerox PARC. And if you know your tech history, you know PARC was one of the most prestigious research facilities in the world. They were right at the cutting edge. But Xerox just wasn't moving fast enough on their vision for digital graphics. So in early 1982, they made a really bold departure. I mean, they took a massive personal and professional risk to found their own company. And they ended up naming it Adobe after the creek behind their houses in California, which honestly is pretty lucky because naming it after their street probably wouldn't have had that same billion-dollar ring to it.
Section 2. The first breakthrough.
So picture the computing world in the early 1980s. They had this massive bottleneck. Designing something on a screen was fine, but getting the computer to accurately talk to a printer so it printed out exactly as it looked on screen? Yeah, that was nearly impossible. Warnock and Geschke actually solved this by inventing PostScript. In simple terms, PostScript was this revolutionary translation language. It basically took digital designs and perfectly rendered them onto physical pages. They fundamentally solved that glaring digital to physical printing gap.
Because before PostScript, printing was, well, it was a fragmented, messy, inconsistent nightmare. Professional design on a computer was essentially just a pipe dream. PostScript changed that paradigm entirely. Suddenly, what you saw on the screen was finally exactly what you got on the page. This universal translation was so groundbreaking that it sparked an early and absolutely crucial partnership with Apple. And that effectively gave birth to the entire desktop publishing revolution.
Section 3. Building a creative empire. Now, Adobe realized really quickly that they had the potential to digitize every single aspect of the creative process. They didn't just solve printing and call it a day, they methodically built this inescapable ecosystem. Think about it. From Photoshop to Illustrator, Premiere Pro to After Effects, and even standardizing our documents with Acrobat in the PDF format. They literally build a dedicated, best-in-class tool for every conceivable artistic discipline.
And the result of that? Explosive growth. I mean, this software rapidly expanded way beyond just a niche utility for early computer geeks. It absolutely devoured the market, becoming the inescapable global standard across all these major industries. Whether you were a designer, a filmmaker, a marketer, or a publisher, Adobe wasn't just a software option anymore. It literally became the fundamental language of your profession.
Section 4. The Great Cloud Pivot.
Now we have to talk about the pivot. Because for decades, Adobe had this wildly successful cash cow. You bought a physical box of software, you paid a massive one-time fee, and you worked in total isolation on your machine. But seeing the industry shift toward cloud computing, Adobe made what has to be one of the riskiest bets in tech history. They ruthlessly abandoned their physical software model for the Creative Cloud. They completely shifted to monthly subscriptions, continuous AI-powered updates, and global collaboration. They completely burned their own boats to make this happen.
The lesson here is simple, but it is brutal. Adapt your business model when markets change. Adobe's survival and their continued dominance wasn't just about writing good code. It was really about their leadership having the immense courage to completely dismantle their own highly profitable structure before the market forced them to.
Section 5. Lessons in Continuous Innovation. So, boiling down this multi-decade journey, we really get 4 distinct business lessons. Number 1. Build tools that empower others to be great. Adobe didn't just make end products. They made the actual infrastructure of creation. Number 2.
Let your innovation create entirely new industries, just exactly like PostScript did for desktop publishing. Number 3, adapt your models to market changes proactively. And number 4, seek long-term value through continuous improvement. Because moving to a subscription model, well, that means you have to constantly integrate new tech, like AI, just to earn your users' loyalty every single month.
When you really step back and look at the whole picture, from 2 defectors at Xerox PARC all the way to a global standard, you realize something pretty profound. Adobe didn't just create software. They gave millions of people around the world the actual power to turn their imagination into a tangible, shareable reality. Ultimately, you could argue their greatest product wasn't a program at all. It was creativity itself.
Which leaves us with one final thought. These tools, they have never been more powerful, more accessible, or more connected than they are right this very second. So, if Adobe's greatest product is creativity itself, what are you going to build with it tomorrow? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope you walk away seeing the digital world just a little bit differently.